Hi, welcome back to Colour in Your Life. I'm Sophia Stacey.
And I'm Natasha Wernick, and we'd like to take you on a journey to see some of the best artists in Australia. I'll be filming.
And I'll be your host. So come with us and enjoy this unique opportunity to enter artist studios and see how they do what they do.
We all have the ability to be artistic, and we are going to show you some fabulous artists to inspire you to pick up that paintbrush and get creative.
Well, viewers, welcome back to Colour in Your Life, and today we're in a little place called Tumbi, Umbi. Wonder if you've ever heard of that. It's a beautiful place on the central coast of New South Wales, and I'd like to introduce it to Carmen Jackson. Carmen!
Hello everybody.
Welcome to Colour in Your Life.
Hi! Thank you very much, and I'm very excited to be on this show.
I'm very excited to be here and to watch one of your fantastic, bold and bright and beautiful creations come to life.
Yes.
But we've got a canvas in the background here, and I can see that you're going to start on a black canvas.
Yes, I am. I've been up late last night gessoing the canvas, ready to go today.
Fantastic.
I'm going to take the viewers through a painting for a wave and down at the ocean today. I've got my inspiration down at Shelley Beach of the Central Coast in New South Wales. And
fabulous. We were actually at Shelley Beach yesterday. Gorgeous place. I mean, this part of New South Wales is absolutely beautiful, and you get a lot of your inspiration from the ocean, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I've grown up around the ocean, especially with my father.
And your work is so bold and chunky, it's almost three-dimensional.
Yes, yes. I like to put optical illusions and 3D elements within my work to get the viewer to look at my art in different perspectives. And I have some paintings that you can actually turn around and have a look at it at all different angles and views.
Oh, that's fun. So people could have it and they can go, oh, I like it this way today.
Yes, yes.
You've got lots of different inspirations, landscapes and the seascapes, and there's lots of wonderful stories you're going to find out today about Carmen and what inspired her to paint. But let's get into it and get some paint on the canvas.
Yeah, let's get into it and get some colour into our lives.
Okay, Carmen, wow, I see you've put all your paints out and you work in oils, but that's a huge amount of oil paint. A lot of people would be too scared to use that much, but you're just going to get into it.
Yes, a lot of the times I like to layer my paints, and oil painting is layering effect as well to make it a 3D effect. So to make that 3D optical illusion effect as well, the more paint that you layer onto the canvas, the more it gives that perspective.
All right, so as you can see, you've got a palette knife. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's go. So I've got a little bit of white paint down on the palette, and I'm just making that nice and thick on there. I'm going to mix that with a bit of cadmium red, and I'm also going to mix in a little bit of the burnt orange to give that as well.
Look at that vibrant colour.
Yeah.
It's very juicy. It looks like, it's like lollies, isn't it?
It is. It's very sort of like a candy colour, which is great.
Ooh.
So to paint the ocean wave on the very first part of a blank canvas, the very most important part is to find the focal point of where you want your main focus of the ocean. So I'm thinking that's going to be around here. So I'm going to layer a lot of the colour going along the horizon line to give it the effect of
look at that.
Sand on that part.
So bold.
It is. Just keep using that right down into there. It's all going to be smudged into the colour to give it a 3D effect with the water as well.
That's what I think is quite beautiful about your work. It's very exciting.
Yes, I like to use a lot of paint and a lot of colour. I'm very big on bringing out different colours too, but not also doing the normal. So it's just, yeah, how I'm feeling at the time. But on one stroke, if you mix the colours together, it's amazing how many different effects you can get, especially for the ocean. You've just got to make sure you've got your colours exactly on the palette.
So you've put a few different colours on that, and you know exactly where to put them, so it just creates this texture, which would be very, very hard to actually paint that with a brush.
Yes, yes. You can do it with a brush. Sometimes when I'm painting the ocean, I can go over the palette knife effect with the brush to give it an airbrush effect, depending on what effect you want to get out of the painting. So yeah, so I walk back again, and then I'm looking in there, seeing that it's got the sand and the water going over there. So again, I just move in for the top of the wave and go around.
Wow.
So just keep loading your palette knife with the ultramarine blue and the cyan blue and the white. Over this one, you're just going over the top of that. Again, nice and bold in there as such. And then just keep going ahead, picking up a little bit of that sand colour as well, because that comes out through the water.
And this reminds me a little bit about another one you've painted called In a Shell, which is this fabulous feeling of looking down into like the tube of a wave. And there's another one called Marble, and it's all these different kind of textures.
I love experimenting with the different textures of liquid and water. There's so many different elements to water.
And you've got one here called Left at Foresters Beach, and you've got it in situ. So it gives the audience a really good idea how wonderful these look on the wall.
The painting is my biggest painting that I've got, Left at Foresters Beach, and it is really big. And to put it, your artwork onto scale in a room is fantastic. So it gives the buyer the opportunity to see what it looks like done up in a room.
You have this incredibly beautiful property here in Tumbi, Umbi, and you know, we had a little walk through the garden before, and you've really created a beautiful oasis. And oh my God, your studio is to die for.
There's a lot of Australian wildlife at my property, which is great. We get lots of cockatoos and kookaburras coming down. It's a beautiful thing to paint in such a beautiful environment.
It really is a gorgeous home.
It is, yeah. I'm very lucky. I call it the tree house. It's got 2 big trees going right through the outside deck, and it's amazing. And I find it a bit of a sanctuary for painting as well.
Painting's really been a way for you to express yourself, and unfortunately you had some time where you lost a lot of family members.
Yeah.
And art has been a way for you to move through some of that grief.
I find a lot of joy and happiness in painting. I've lost most of my family members, unfortunately, but to be able to turn that into a positive, to be able to express myself creatively this way is brilliant.
You've got another one called The Awakening Wall, which is of Uluru.
My brother went to Uluru on a holiday and took this amazing photo. I'm really interested in a lot of ancient history, points to a lot of the inland seas, and that's my inspiration for Awakening. My paintings aren't realistic in the sense of I don't want to paint the replica of a photo. I'd like to have my own take on my own style. I have a mixture of ideas that I gel together from photographs or a landscape or a place. and then I'll just gel them together and then create something from the way that I'm feeling. I'm not afraid to make a mistake. I'm not afraid to put lots of bold colour somewhere because I don't think it's right. I'll put it there, and then if I think that I want to change it, I'll just keep layering it over with the colour that I think is the right colour.
And you've got one here called The Entrance Through the Flood. And you were saying the waves even came over that beautiful bridge that leads you into town. But you were saying that the flood came through and it was washed out all of those buildings and was even going over the bridge.
The water came up over the bank of the concrete piers.
Wow.
And inundated the houses. They closed it down the area for a little bit. But that was my inspiration for The Entrance Through the Flood. So it did affect a lot of the local community. So now I'm just going to get a little bit of titanium white oil paint on the palette brush and mix that with some cadmium red again to give that sand colour once again. I've walked back and looked at the painting and I thought maybe about putting in a bit of a bank just in here. So I just simply put a line down here and then push the paint in. I'm just going to put a tree in just here.
A pink tree?
Yeah, pink tree just in there. And I'm just going to simply use the palette knife to push it around. So now I'm going to go in with my finger and I'm going to grab a white and simply just place that over my finger and just basically pulling your fingers in there and pulling that down.
Beautiful.
Into there to give it that water effect.
Gorgeous.
And then just keep doing that on the outside, depending on how far you want to layer your water to. I've been quite lucky getting into art shows. I've been applying to go into art shows for the past year and I've been accepted into all of them and also been accepted into ones around the country. I've applied to go into ones around the country, to South Australia, to Victoria, to Queensland, even Northern Territory, they've all been accepted. So to have the artwork being shown around Australia is such a privilege, and because I love Australia, I love my Aussie art as well, and yeah, to represent Australia and its beauty around the country is brilliant.
I've noticed you just picked up a fan brush and you like to use the fan brush with your waves.
Yes, I do. Fan brushes give the space at the end of them to be able to give the look of the wave, and depending on how you move your fan brush at the top of your painting of the wave, you can actually create the depth within the ocean. You can do that simply, I'll just quickly show you in here, just by simply lifting it up and then down again. You can see that it gives the effect of the water coming in. The fan brush is really good as well for just moving around and flicking up. Tomorrow I'll put lots of white to bring out as well the whitewash within the wave.
Okay, so obviously you need to let that dry.
Yes.
But so we're actually going to put that one off to the side and you're going to do some work on the one that's just behind you and just show a few more techniques on that.
Yes, I am. I need to. I'm at the next stage with the terrigal painting. I need to put on the detail, which is the trees, and also the fine detail. There's a fence that lives on the top of the skillion as well, and also some houses over on the sides. So
great.
yes.
So well, let's swap them over and we'll come back in a minute and
brilliant.
See what we can do with that one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Sophia. Thank you. I'm just now going to add on some little bit more detail. When I very first done the first sketch, the colours in here, it's a lot darker to get the reflection. So at the moment I'm just grabbing some raw umber and raw sienna and violet, and I'm just going over the top of the rocks there to make them a little bit darker to give them that reflection.
And you're using that technique again where you're putting three different colours on the palette knife and just scraping it over.
Yeah, and just scraping that over the top. So just grabbing the darker colours and dragging them across. It'll draw your eye over towards the front of the rock as well.
Now I wanted to talk about White Cliffs, and you've done a few paintings of White Cliffs, and you've just bought a property up there. It's opal mining country, is that right?
Yes, very exciting. Opal is one of my other passions. We bought a house out in White Cliffs. We also have a couple of opal mining claims out there. It's only a tiny town. There's only a couple of hundred people who live there. They're all absolutely fantastic and beautiful. And to be able to show off White Cliffs in my own special humorous way, but also looking at the mining and opal mining town and showing the humour of that as well has been my passion.
You've got one here titled No Stupid People.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Where did that title come from?
That one is actually a pun in regards to mining safety. It's really important out in an opal mining town such as White Cliffs to be really mindful of safety, especially around the shafts and all the opal mining holes that are out there. And that painting represents a plaque that my brother has on his opal mining claim that says out the front, no stupid people, and which is representing that. So I decided to chuck that into one of my paintings to show also the quirkiness of the art also in White Cliffs.
And you also do some really interesting workshops, and it's called Mozart to Matisse. Can you tell us a bit more about these workshops?
Yes, definitely. When I was doing my professional learning through my teaching, I was researching areas of brain development for learning and learnt that Mozart can open up all the neural pathways in the brain, which is called the Mozart effect, to be able to create a piece of art using Mozart. So I created some really fun workshops where you can listen to Mozart and get the Mozart quite loud to open up those neural pathways, and so people can create their own masterpiece.
That sounds like heaps of fun, because most artists will paint to some kind of music that they like, but there has been scientific study to say that there is specific parts of his music that really activate the brain.
Yes, they do, and music is the only instrument that opens up the pathways to the neurons in your brain. So to use Mozart and to create a piece of painting in a workshop with a group of people is amazing. It's so much fun.
It'd be mind expanding, wouldn't it?
It is, literally.
Yes.
So please have a look at my website and come along and book in and come and have some fun listening to some beautiful music.
So yes, so they can come to, there's two websites. You've got one specifically for the workshops, which is mozartandmatisse.com.
Yes.
But they can also reach that through Carmen Jackson art.com.
Yes, that's correct. So I've linked my Mozart to Matisse workshops through my webpage, which is carmenjacksonart.com. And please feel free to contact me at any time about any questions, or whether I can come to you, or whether I can do a business event, or even just come to your house and do a workshop there. You'll get yourself a little kit which has got a canvas and some paints in it, and I will bring the music.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you can travel all over Australia.
Yes.
And to businesses, and like you say, go into homes. It'd be a great thing to do for, you know, they do it with the hens nights and things like that.
I'd love to do that.
Or even just, you know, getting together as a group. Doesn't have to be all women, but, you know, often it does happen, you know.
Yes,
girls
that's right.
get together and...
Yes, I'm more than willing to do a bucks night if I've been asked, so I can do that with the humorous side of my paintings, no worries. And I'll use Mozart as well.
Sounds like heaps of fun.
It is.
So you just put a suggestion of those trees up there too.
Yes, yes. On the whole side of the skillion, I've got to put trees all the way down both sides. On this side, overlooking over here, there's some houses as well, just on the side of the hill there. And then you just use your palette knife to go down the painting. If there's any trees that end in the middle here, you just quickly smudge them with the end of your palette knife, and then off you go, and then you're ready to go.
Cool. Well, we might actually let you finish that off.
Okay.
And it's been an absolute pleasure to be in your studio today. My goodness, we've had so much fun. I love the vibrancy of your work too.
Thank you so much, Sophia. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you and Natasha here today. What a beautiful bunch of girls, and I have been in beautiful company all day today, and I've been privileged. I've been so relaxed and peaceful, and I can't thank you enough for bringing your beautiful joy to me as well. Thank you.
Well, we all share. We've had lots of giggles, haven't we?
We have today, had lots.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, my goodness, what a fantastic day. Carmen, thanks so much for having us.
That's okay, I've had the best day today, and I just want to thank you and Natasha for being awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Nat, for being behind the camera.
Thanks, Nat.
You did a great job today looking after us. And I just love your work. We've had so much fun, and it's so colourful and vibrant, and it's so textured. And if people want to come and contact you to buy your work or to go into the workshops, and which I think it'd be so much fun. It's just that different angle of a normal art workshop.
Yes.
Can you tell us again your website?
Of course, it's carmenjacksonart.com, and for my workshops it's Mozart to Matisse, which is also on the link to my website.
Great, thank you so much.
What a brilliant day.
Thank you each other. It really has. We really have had the most fabulous day, and as we always say, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life. Thank you so much.
See
Bye,
ya.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.